This edition of My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Val Performance, the team behind the Nordboard, ForceDex, the Groin Bar, and Human Track. Guys, the most important ability for all of our athletes is availability, and that's the absolute goal of Val Performance, is to provide solutions to performance professionals so that we can get the right information to make the right decision at the right time for the betterment of the athletes that we get to work with. To do this, guys, they have a wide range of validated products that focus on usability, and having being founded by the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences at the Queensland University of Technology, they're extremely evidence-based and they're beyond transparent. I can tell you that our time using the Nordboard and being involved with ForceDex, we have been introduced to so many amazing people that have truly helped us become better coaches, have a better understanding, not just of the technology, but also what we're doing with our athletes. So make sure you hop over to valperformance.com today to make sure you check out what they got. It's going to make you better and to do better by your athletes. The world of strength and conditioning is filled with some awesome practitioners who are always trying to evolve and continue to grow professionally throughout their career. The problem with many of us, though, is finding a new outlet, a new way, and a new perspective on the questions that we may have, whether it be programming, whether it be situational with dealing with coaches, or whether it be career advice. Because all too often what happens is we get stuck in with the same group of friends and the same group of colleagues that we reach out to for advice repeatedly over and over again. But what we should really be looking for is different perspectives, different people who have been through different situations who can help us make better decisions both for ourselves and our athletes. And one awesome place to start with that is the forums in the Strength Coach Network. In the forums in the Strength Coach Network, you'll be able to reach out and get feedback, input, and advice from coaches from all over the world. From everything from career advice to training modalities to programming, there's people there just for the same reason as you are, to try to get better, to learn, to share information, and to grow the field of strength and conditioning. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com/CVASPS. That's strengthcoachnetwork.com/CVASPS to dive into all that great content today and get your 48-hour trial for only $1. I look forward to seeing you in the Strength Coach Network. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Jay DeMayo coming at you with this week's edition of My Thoughts Monday. Today, guys, I'd like to talk about something or touch upon a conversation that's been going on in the internet and one that I've been able to have with a couple people that are, close friends and colleagues of mine. And that really is this idea of what is experience. And what really experience is when it comes to our world of sport performance and strength and conditioning. And I think that right now we're in a situation where this little corner of the world of sport is so young. And we're in our kind of developmental stages and we're still growing and trying to figure out like where we really fit. We're still having conversations about whether or not we should be tied to sport coaches and how we should be evaluated and all of these things. And now we're getting into really the ins and outs and the who's and what's of education and how we should learn from people. And I think that when I'm looking at education and experience and who are the people that we should end out starting to look for to drive these decisions, I don't think age is something that matters. What I really think are the situations that you've been exposed to and the things that you have had to work through, that's what experience is. That's what has driven you to be where you are as a coach. And no one's experiences are going to be the same. No one's. I've been really fortunate to be in the same position for 17 years. This will be my 17th school year if everything works out and we end up having class in fall. This will be year 17. And I'm super fortunate for that. And people could say that a guy that's been coaching for 20 years is someone with a pretty good level of experience. And a person who probably could give quite a few good presentations, you would think. But let me ask you this. If we were sitting there and you were, say, to compare my level of experience to, let's just say, a friend of mine, somebody who's been in the game for 10 to 15 years, has coached on 4 continents, worked with 2 teams that they didn't even speak English. Do you think our experience is a little different? Do you think our level of education or in different settings is a little different? Or just because I've coached longer, am I more experienced so people should listen to me first? I have a feeling that, a lot of people would say no. If you want to talk about longevity and working in specific sport and the way that's evolved and some mistakes that I've made along the way, sure, I'd probably be a pretty good person to talk about that. But starting over, communicating without being able to verbalize it, understanding, lessons from different places and things that fit and don't fit and how you can manipulate and change your modalities and strategies and programming based upon different situations, the other person would probably be better at. And if experience and where people have been and who they have learned under and situations that may be unique don't matter, then why do we call references? Why do we look to hire people who have learned under other people, who can bring in more to us to help us become better and do better, both for our athletes and as a staff? If you were to tell me that a coach who has had the opportunity to learn or study or intern or assist under a coach that you haven't had the opportunity to, but really kind of are a fan of, we could say, right? Or you understand that they do things very well and you want to learn more about them, wouldn't you bring that person in because of their experience? Even though they maybe were there 6 months, 8 months, a year? Wouldn't you allow them to utilize that experience and to have an impact on how you would program your athletes? If you would allow that, then why wouldn't you listen to that person give a presentation? Why couldn't that person then share that to a greater group of people? And if understanding how younger people are reading and interpreting what we are looking at, then why is it always so important to all of us that you don't just regurgitate what Verkhoshansky said, what Issurin said, what Bondarchuk said? How are you utilizing that and fitting that into what you're doing in your situation? Listen, there's no one who has more respect for the people that have paved the road for what we're able to do for a living more than I do. There is no one. But in order for us to continue to move forward, and in order for us to continue to improve upon what they have started for all of us, we need to make sure that the next generation is able to contribute to that. And us older heads that are starting to get into our 40s really need to be able to take a step back and listen. Because a system that a coach developed before that we may be implementing now, that they may be finding an even better way to yield better results and improve things for their athletes better than we did, needs to be something that we are willing to listen to. I get it. People need to pay their dues. People need to go through some things to understand these things. But those things are the experiences that make them unique. And those experiences that make them unique are why I believe They need to have a voice, and we need to listen to them just as much. Because here's the worst thing that we could find out. Maybe they're interpreting it completely wrong. Maybe the work that we've been doing all of this time, we have miscommunicated to people and they don't understand what we've been trying to do. Worst case scenario, we're going to help them understand what we really mean. Best case scenario, we are going to learn that there's a better way to do things than what we're doing. To me, that sounds like a win-win. And to me, that's why I look for assistants and we look to hire the way we do. Because they're different experiences, good, bad, indifferent. The people who they have learned under, those are the people that are going to help us become better. And their experience coming in from these unique locations that we have not been able to be part of are what are going to drive us forward to continue to progress, to continue to be better for the young people that we get to work with. But with all of this, I'd love to hear what you guys think. How are you implementing things? How are you trying to learn from those who are coming up? But that's just where I see it. That's just how I do it, and that's just how I handle it. And that's why we want everything at CVAPS to be open, honest, and candid sharing. Because we don't want these young people to come in and to think that we're just going to shoo them away because you're 2 years out of grad school or you're a GA. Because maybe they've studied under somebody that I don't know, and in that conversation they'll say something, and that'll trigger me to find something better. Open, honest, candid sharing where everyone has the opportunity to speak. That's what we're trying to do. But as always, truly appreciate everything y'all do for us here at Central Virginia Sport Performance. We'll be back next week with another My Thoughts Monday. See you then.